This is Mr. Bishop with the Music Learning Band Program. I'm really excited for you drummers. This is going to be the first chance we get to show you what to do with your drums at home. You can do this before you even get to school. So when you get to your night meeting, we're going to give you a code and you go and take a look at this video to make sure you know how to set your drums up so you can get a head start for band. Let's go ahead and get started. This is our snare drum. Now I set it on this little speaker here to make it a little easier to look at. But if you'll take a look at it, most of you guys will have something like this. It might even say Rogers like this one. This is a very common one. A lot of you guys will have this deal. This is a drum and a bell kit. What you want to do is lay it down on the floor. Now for purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to lay on the speaker to make it a little easier to show you guys what's going on. First thing I would do, I would open up this outside part right here. Do you notice we have a zipper? We open it up and flip it over. This is going to be access to our drum. Your drum and your pad should be in here all the time. This is your snare drum, snares on the bottom, and you have a drum pad on top, which helps you play not so loud sometimes, and it's a good practice tool. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but this is your drum. I'm going to set this down on the ground right now. Now, after you get your drum open, I like to always zip up everything on the cases so that you don't have a mess. So you try to move your case a little bit later, then you're going to have stuff falling all over the place. So I would suggest you go ahead and zip them up after you get your stuff out. Next, we're going to open this side right here. Now remember, if you were in class, you would be on the floor and you would be in front of your drum like this on the ground, and you flip it open to be the best way to do it. You'll learn how to do this real fast. This isn't very difficult at all. So you open up your drum case, and this is going to flip back. Now in here, you have several compartments. So zoom on in and take a look at this. You have all your hardware in here. You have your sticks and your mounts and a little music stand that goes on your bell kit. Underneath here, you have your bell kit. Okay, now that's your whole deal right there. We're not going to mess with the bells today. We're going to talk about the snares only. I'm going to pull out all the hardware and set it right here so I can show it to you, because this is very important. You have usually 3 pieces of hardware that are going to come with your drums. Some of you guys will have a separate bell kit, so you might have a separate stand for your bells, but this is probably the one that most of you will have. I think it'll probably work out pretty good. You see this stand right here? It has a screw sticking out, and it has 4 legs on it. Nothing else has 4 legs. This is for your bells. You're not going to even use this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, you can notice it has a screw on the top. Some people actually try to use this on their drum to set it up. This is going to poke a hole in the bottom of your drum. You don't want to use this one with the screw. You're going to screw your bells on here, and your bells get really solid and they're really cool to play off of this thing, but you don't want to use it for your snare drum. So I'm going to put it back in the case right here. Then I'm going to take out my stand, and I'm going to take out both pieces, and I'm going to take out my drumsticks. I'm not going to take out my mallets. I'm going to set those down right here, and I'm going to close my case like we talked about before. Because sometimes we have to move our cases around the band. If you have a bunch of stuff in your case and you're moving it and it's not zipped up, it's just a big problem. So we're going to get our case out of the way. I think we're pretty good. Now, I'm going to come over here and show you what to do. Show you what to do about the drum stand. This isn't too hard. It's pretty easy. I'm going to sit on this stand and show you. First of all, you want your bass to open it up first. So you're going to open your bass up, and you have several ways you can do this. You have several wrong ways. This is what a lot of people will do. They'll either put their bass super narrow and try to stand it up. That doesn't work. Or they'll go all the way out, and it creates like a tripping hazard where people want to fall over and it's not even that secure. So what you want to do is get a nice triangle about like this. And we want to tighten this up just a little bit. You don't have to get it real tight. Then we're going to set it on the ground. Then we take our top part. This is called a basket. Top of our snare stand. This is really called a basket. Now, what we're going to do is hold that where this is straight up and down and just let it tighten up right here. So this is going to be fairly straight. We can adjust that again in a minute. Loosen this up. And by the way, whenever you have an empty pipe like this, you never want to tighten this screw. It will damage your stand. So don't tighten this without a pipe inside of it. So I'm going to set my stand in all the way down, put it on. I'm going to tighten this up. Now, also I'm going to make this go straight up and down. We want our snares straight up and down, okay? Then I'm going to open this up, and there's another screw right here. We're going to spin this out pretty far. Some of you guys may have to go all the way out, and that's going to open this up where the snare is going to fit on. Grab my snare. Put these sticks in my back pocket. I love doing that. I keep track of them like that. I don't have to think about it. So then I put my drum on the stand. Now, you can tighten this up if you want on the bottom, right here on this thing that we talked about before that tightens your snare basket. But I don't like it too tight. You can actually damage your snare drum if you tighten it really tight. And also, I don't think it sounds as good if it's really tight. It kind of dampens the drum. So let it sit there, not a big deal, it's not going anywhere. And then we take off our drum pad and we'll put it to the side. Now this is backwards. You want your logo to be in front of you like this while you're playing. Your snare adjustment, this is called a strainer. Most of the time it'll be on the right, sometimes it could be on the left. But your logo is important out front. Put it on like this. Now, the other thing is, you want to make sure this drum is totally flat. Now, this drum, sometimes it might be just slightly tilted one way or the other. If you had to have it tilted slightly towards you, but if we can get it flat, better for now. And it needs to be waist high. This is too low for me. Now, for you guys, it'll probably be in this lowest spot. That's great. And for some of you guys that are a little shorter, you may have to have a shorter stand. We'll talk to you about that in class, and if your director thinks your stand is too tall, he'll let your parents know, and we'll get you another stand. So we should be ready to play now. The other thing we haven't done is one thing that's important. Our drum flat, we have this tight. This is not too wide. Everything looks good. Our logo's facing forward. This is too low. I'm going to put it waist high. So, this is important. Everyone listen to this carefully. You never want to loosen this bottom screw here and let it just fall down. You can pinch yourself. And you can also pinch yourself right here if you're not careful too. So I'm going to loosen this just a little bit. And I'm going to raise it up for me. And that's pretty good. Now the other thing you don't want to do is when you get ready to pack it up, you don't want to pull this out and go bam. That can pinch you really hard. I've been pinched by that several times. It doesn't feel good. It looks terrible when your finger gets smashed by this thing right here. Not really smashed, but it's going to make a nice red mark. So you want to make sure that when it's up and you're getting ready to tear your drums down, you take your drum off first and you hold the stand out of the way where you can't get pinched and you pull it down like this, okay? Now, that's pretty close to how we're going to set up. I'm going to play like this right now because that might still be a hair low for me, but for you guys, waist high is going to be good. Here's your drumsticks. Now, let's look close at these drumsticks in here, so come on in a little bit closer. Now, these are Vic Firth SD1 Generals. I really like these sticks. A lot of you guys will have these sticks with your instruments, or you'll have some that are a brand that's kind of like this. But if you want to go to the music store, it's really fun to look around. Go to Brooke Mays and get you a pair of SD1 Generals. That way you can have the right stick for the snare drum. The carpenter has many hammers in his toolbox, but he always has the right hammer for the right nail. And this is a tool, so you want to have the right tool for the right drum. You have drum set sticks, you have marching sticks, you have marching snare sticks, you have concert sticks. These are concert sticks. Now, I'm going to show you how to hold a drum stick. Let's get in close one more time again. Best thing to do is lay your hand down open like this. I'm going to do my right hand first. Now, you're kind of looking, I'm going to turn around this way so we can get an idea of how it would look for you. So here's your hand like this. You want to lay your stick into your hand about like this, and you want to curl your fingers over. Now, if you notice, this lays on what we used to call the lifeline. You all may have heard that little line. Everyone has it in their hand right here, this long line through your palm. Lay that stick on that line. Come on up, and you really want to have your thumb like in the middle. Your finger and your thumb want to meet like around the dot of this Firth. Okay, and these fingers here don't do too much right now. You can lightly put them over like this, and you want to turn over. Now, I want you to back up and look and see how this looks just a little bit. I'm going to hold them both. You get used to doing this. You don't have to think about it very often. But look at my hands. My fingers are this. I want to show you some. This is a correct grip. You want to cut a pie piece on your drum. You don't want your thumbs on top. You don't want them all the way over, but you want them somewhere about like this. Now, couple of things that are not good. If you try to hold your sticks like this with this giant hole right here, that is not good. You don't have control over the stick. If you also want to do this, that's not good either. Okay? So once again, hand open, lay it on the lifeline. Let both your fingers come around like that. If you notice, your hand will be shaped sort of like this. Not like normal. You have to take your thumb and swing it over. Kind of move your thumb that way. That's the way that you hold the drumstick. And this lays in your palm. This is in contact with your palm while you're playing. Now, this is, and remember one more time, not like this, not like that, any kind of weird way you can think of, like a pie piece. If you're going to buy a piece of pie, this was a pizza, that'd be a normal slice of pie. Well, that's about what you're going to do, maybe a little wider than you would when you hold it properly. And notice my fingers are out. Long ago, we used to start with our fingers out like this. Now, you can start with them out a little bit, but let them come in. These are the ones that are tight, a little tight, not really, really tight, but firm. These really don't do anything right now. They will help you play with more control later, but for now, they're just there. They almost touch. When I play, they almost touch like this. Now, you can play in the center of your drum. I have no idea how this is going to sound when I hit it. It might be too loud. But when I hit it in the center of my drum, it's super loud. But when I hit on the edge of the drum, it's quieter. Now, what I would like for you guys to do is to practice playing on the logo. Cut your pie piece and play. Now, I also want to show you how to hit properly. This is wrong. A big swing. Here, back up a little bit. A big swing and coming down and hitting bam, bam, with my hands flying like this. No, that's not right. You want to play with your hand. You actually want to play with your wrists only, and you want to come up no higher than about right here. Okay, so that, and when you hit, this is very complicated at first, I understand, but you want to control the rebound. If I don't push down on my fingers, I'm going to dampen the rebound. If I just hit the drum hard, it's going to fly back up. So I hit it and I kind of grab, use these fingers to dampen. And you want to hit with wrists only, and you want to have a rebound of maybe a ½ inch. That would be optimal. So I'm going to do a few right hits. I'm going to dampen this drum so it probably sound a little better on the recording. That's all you want to do. Now I'm going to do it with my left hand. Notice I grab. If I don't grab, the stick's going to fly up. See? But I grab with those extra fingers. I want to come straight down. I don't want to chop. I don't want to chop into it like this. I don't want to use my arm. I don't want to be loud. I just want to come down. So I would practice a few, and when the stick goes high, the other one goes low. Now I would practice some rights. You can dampen your drum like I'm doing till I got it. And then I would do some lefts. Then I would alternate. Now another thing too that's very important. Drummers have to use their feet while they're counting. You tap your foot all the time and you play when you're playing with the band, you're going to count out loud. Now I'm going to demonstrate the best way to do this. I'm going to step out from, I'm going to let you can look at my feet and you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put all my weight on my left foot. Then I'm going to, I want to stand on one foot. Then I want to take my right foot and put it out in front of me a little bit like this. And I want to tap. I have a little weight on my right foot, but a bunch of weight on my left foot. and I count. 1. And you don't want to count like this. 1, 2, 3. You want to count with rhythm and really clearly and succinctly like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time you play, even when you're not playing, your foot's still going. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're counting. Now this is your first exercise. I want to show you how to do this. We're tapping our foot, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to play 4 rights. And I'm going to play for 4 beats. I'm going to play 4 hits on every beat. 1 hit on every beat for 4 beats with one hand. And I'm going to do rest for 4 beats. And I'm going to play it with the other hand. Here we go. 1. Watch me and you can try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now my left. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. Lefts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now we're going to alternate and get as smooth as we can now. So we want to, and you know, if you notice, I'm trying to flow a little bit when I'm playing. You can work on that too. Right now, it's okay if you kind of jerk them in, but don't try to get used to not jerking them in at the last second. I know this is a lot. You will get it the more that you do. This is really going to make you really solid if you don't try to jerk in at the last second. And watch what my other stick does while I'm playing. Watch the motion of my sticks. It should look fairly fluid. So here we go. I'm going to count off. 1, 2, with my foot tapping. Weight on my left foot. 1, 2, ready. Going to alternate now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now we can double up. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. Now this is your first lesson. This is really general, but it's designed to give you a head start in band. You're going to be working on these things that I showed you today your first day. How to set your drum up, how to tap your foot, how to count. All drummers count all the time. Good drummers count. Bad drummers don't count. We want you all to be really, really good. Now, and you're also going to work on hitting not super hard and not getting a lot of rebounds and all that business, and learn how to dampen and hit the stick and everything. You got a lot going on. Now, I am super excited for you guys. I can't wait to see each and every one of you at all these great stuff we're having going on this year. I can't wait to see you at your band and everything. But I want you to practice setting up your drums so you can be ready for your first day, and do it several times so you're really, really comfortable with it. Now, let's pack up, and I'll show you how to do that. So right now, I'm going to set my drum case on the ground again. I'm going to set it on this thing because I don't feel like bending over. You guys will probably be cool getting on the ground. Now, come right here. I'm taking my drum off. I take it off first. I'm not going to put it in yet. I'm going to open up my case. Lift it open. Here's my bells under here. We haven't used those yet. We'll use them pretty soon. Take my snare drum apart. I mean my drum stand apart. This is the part where you can get pinched. Be careful. Loosen this just a little. And flip it over. Now, you can tighten these a little bit, but don't just get out on it all the way. It just makes it kind of tough to deal with. So I just barely put a little bit on. If it's a little loose in there, big deal. You don't want the screws to fall off, but it's okay. Put this in there. Here's your next part. This is important. Do not tighten this without a pipe in it. I'm going to loosen it a hair. I don't want to lose my screws just a little bit. Take this open. Close it. This is the part where you go, ah! Don't do that. That will hurt you if you squeeze this down your hands. So as we're opening, I like to do this. This is a good way to do it too. All the way down. Be careful. This right here, You can tighten it, only tighten a little bit. You're just wasting your time if you crank it down. It's not going to do a thing in the case. Just make sure it's snug, not real tight, just a little bit so it's easy to put together next time. Then I'm going to slide it in here. And here's I guess I already messed up, everybody, because I didn't put my step in here right, so it's not fitting right. So I'm going to have to take this out, do that right there. Probably put this guy in next. Try to get it all to fit. It's pretty tight, but it'll work out. You'll figure out the best way that works for your case. Now I got everything in there. Uh-oh, I left my drumsticks. Here we go. Drumsticks in your little deal right there. You should all have a drum key also. This is a drum key. I'm not going to pull this one out. It's a nice little pack in here. You can put a drum key in there. I've got one in my pocket, I think. No, I don't. I put it down somewhere. A drum key is what you use to tighten your drums. I'll do another video on how to tune your drums later. Then I'm going to shut this case right here. Go around here, screw everything down. I mean, zip it all down. Open this up. Drop my glasses about 10 times during the video. And I'm going to put my snare in there. That's all you got to do. Put this on right there. Close that down. Make sure it's zipped up. This is the part where everything falls out if you don't zip it up. Now and then I'm going to take this out, set it on the ground. Got your deal to roll it, push it down when you're not using it. Now, awesome. So I would set up my drums 4 or 5 times. If you show up to band and you're going, I don't get it, and I see drums upside down, and I see drums sideways, and I don't see them flat, and I see people's stands all spread out, everything going wrong, I'm going to know you didn't watch this video. But you're watching the video, so you're going to be fine. So after you get everything put up, set it up 4 or 5 times. Get super comfortable with setting it up and work on your grip. You can practice. I'm going to grab a pair of drumsticks from back behind my drum set here. You can work on your grip and you're playing. Let's say you're watching TV. You want to sit down and you're watching your favorite TV show. You can work on your grip like this while you're playing. And you can play little rhythms real simply on your leg. You don't really have to have the drum all the time. Sometimes just picking up the drumsticks and doing this is giving you a really good thing to practice. Also, don't dig your sticks into your head like this. You want a little bitty rebound coming up just a hair. Okay? Now, these are extra pair of sticks. So I think you're all good. Practice your grip. Practice hitting your drum properly. Practice setting up and be ready for your first day. I can't wait. You're going to be awesome. Thanks a lot, and we're going to have another video soon. We'll have some more stuff to learn. Thank you. Have a great band class next time.